Hello there and welcome to the Future Gaming and Digital Conference here at the Birmingham Science Park in Aston. We're here to talk about what's coming up in the future gaming world and of course businesses and careers which you can see maybe you could get into.
Way back in February, the government produced the Next Gen report. It listed 20 recommendations on how we can improve the way we create games. Since then, many new funding opportunities have arisen for games developers, and here's just one of them.
We're here with Jason Hall from Game Central. He's part of a development agency that works in the gaming industry. Now, Sony mentioned quite a few months back that there is a skills gap in Britain that needs to be fixed, and then the government produced a report about that. Do you know what has been done since that report?
Yeah, there's been a lot of work that's just ongoing since then. Basically, the report, it was published by Nesta. It's called the Next Gen report, and it's after a long period of consultation with the entire games industry. We've basically come together in one big voice and said, look, we've got huge skills issues. Largely what's happening is the right skills not being taught in schools, not being taught in universities, and there's a real lack of education around how big the games industry is in the UK and how many jobs are actually out there. So there's a lot of work going on both at industry level and within the education system to try and plug those gaps.
So your company is introducing a new competition for new developers to go forward with a prototype of a game. So what is that all about, really?
It's a partnership with the Library of Birmingham, which for those who aren't in Birmingham or haven't seen the building going up, is a massive £193 million new library, the biggest cultural project in Europe right now, and they're keen to engage people in the library in different ways and using digital media, new technologies. So it's essentially a pitching competition where any games developers can pitch for the opportunity to create a prototype game. £20,000 funding available, and if the library likes that game, likes that prototype, there's potential to get more funding to develop it into a full game.
Okay, and how would people apply to enter that competition?
Really simply, there's a full brief that's been written by Guy Wildy, who's come from the games industry. So a full brief for how to enter, and that's available to download from gamecentral.org.uk/pitch.
While at the conference, we met up with many small indie developers, as well as the big boys like Blitz, Rare and IDOS. We're here to talk about the future of games and the way we play them.
I'm here with CEO of Blitz Game Studios, Philip Oliver. So what has Blitz produced for us in the past, for those who don't know?
Hi, well, my twin brother and I, Andrew, we've been making games for many, many years. So back in the 80s, we're well known for creating the Dizzy series and the Simulator series with Codemasters. We then set up Blitz Game Studios and started hiring people. Over the years, we've created many games for PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, etc. We've done a lot of character games. Our studio focuses on characters, so we're kind of quite well known for things like SpongeBob and Barbie and Bratz and things like this. More recently, we've been doing sort of things like the movie games, so we've just produced Puss in Boots for the movie.
So what do you think the future holds in gaming? Maybe platforms, the accessories?
That's an incredibly open and large question. I mean, the good thing is that video games are the future of entertainment. There is no doubt about that, and everybody's coming around to realise that. I used to have to preach this sort of back in the early 80s, and everybody would laugh at me. I think everybody now acknowledges that now that we're all socially connected, digitally connected, the technology is everywhere, it's all pervasive, that interactive entertainment is the future. That's fantastic. So which actual devices, which software solutions are going to win out? It's a little bit tough to tell. I would actually say that obviously Apple with its iPhone and iPods and stuff has actually really been a champion of the smaller games, the more casual games, micropayments and all that kind of stuff, and that's gone fantastically well. So I think that gaming on the go, micro sort of gaming effectively, and smartphones is going to be a massive future.
Okay, and you've got the company Blitz Tech as part of the game studios. What is that
Correct.
going to do for the industry?
Okay, what we decided was that technology is everywhere and it's all pervasive, and which platform is going to win? Well, who knows which platform is going to win? So in some ways it's best to back them all. But in backing them all, you can be a lot more efficient in your development, because actually that's what's really important, is how much does it cost to actually make your content, and then how are you going to best monetize it and maximize its potential? Well, the best way to do that is to get it across all platforms as efficiently and easily as possible. So BlitzTech is all about making it very easy to make games and then distribute games across all platforms.
Okay, and what can we see from Blitz Games in the coming year?
I'm not allowed to talk about the contracts that we actually have in development. We do have some incredibly big console games coming out.
If that makes sense, that are already announced.
This season, this holiday season, we've just released SpongeBob Road Trip. We've also got Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer game for Connect. We've got You Star on MTV. We've got, and this is our really big one, and this is the one we are so proud of, and that is Puss in Boots, which is on Connect, PlayStation 3 and the Wii.
If you haven't seen the latest Puss in Boots trailer, here it is to tickle your taste buds.
This is the legend of a brilliant swordsman who is amazingly skilled, fantastically brave, and fiercely adorable.
Kitty wanna cuddle. Oh!
Step into the woods.
Ollie! Watch out!
Master the sword. Fear me. Pounce into adventure.
DreamWorks Puss in Boots, the video game.
Bye-bye.
Become the legend.
That's out on the 1st of December, and I'll be taking a great look at it in a few weeks' time. Now, there was one thing here that stole the show over all the small little indie developers, and it was the latest edition in the Tomb Raider series.
We're here with Ian Livingston, who is Life President of IDOS. So, what is to come with the gaming industry?
Well, for IDOS, we've got a new Tomb Raider in development. It's a prequel rather than a sequel. I think you're going to see how Lara Croft becomes a Tomb Raider, how she's a born survivor, and we're very excited about our game. It's coming out next year. And that's the console space, which is in many ways a consolidation in that there's less publishers now because the costs of entry are getting higher and higher, 20, 30, 40, $50 million to make a game. The barriers to entry are quite high. But there's an amazing amount of opportunities for UK independent studios setting up all over the place to serve original content via high-speed broadband to global audiences. So you're going to see lots of iPhone developers, Android developers, social network game developers, casual games developers, because it allows originality and innovation for digital consumption. And these are very exciting times.
Is there anything we could see in IDOS that maybe we haven't seen before from your company, like new games, new titles, that sort of thing?
I think you'll see with IDOS, and all publishers are going to have to adopt a digital strategy. Historically, publishers like IDOS have been product-based companies making content that's sold in shops. That is changing now, has moved from an analog to digital world, from a product to a service. Business models are changing from premium to freemium. It's all about how you acquire audiences, retain them and monetize them, and all about virality. In the iStore, which still is obviously the world's smallest shop window, how do you become discovered? So using social networks, social media, friends, virality, these are very important parts of anyone's thinking for the future of the games industry.
And in reports from the Next Gen report that you created in February for the government, have you seen anything progress from that? Say the government have introduced funding schemes for gaming industries or anything?
Well, there were 20 recommendations in Next Gen looking at universities and schools, and our number one recommendation was to make computer science an essential discipline as part of the national curriculum, because ICT as taught is worthless if you want a career in the digital high-tech industries. ICT teaches you how to use an application but not how to make one, and we can't build a digital economy with a nation of digital literates, so we need to put creative technology into the hands of a creative nation, and therefore we can help build the new IDOSs, the new Zingers, Facebooks, Twitters, needs digital literacy in the form of computer science. And I'm delighted to say we're going to get a full response from the government next week. I don't expect computer science to be announced, but I don't think the door will be shut. I think they'll seriously look at ICT with a new light.
Now, today's show was about showing off what indies can do, and most of them have jumped onto the social platforms like Facebook and Twitter. Now, we wondered, why not stick with the consoles? What's really there for the future of social gaming?
I'm here with Charlie Horn, who's from Oop Game Studios. They create a lot of social media games, so why do we need to be social?
We need to be social because the Facebook market is going to be growing up to about 1 billion users by the end of this year and set to continue expanding exponentially. We create quite a few different products, some social games like the Facebook planted games, as well as mobile games and online games. And I've got one to show you here, which is Safari Sanctuary.
Safari Sanctuary. So this is based from a guy in South Africa, was it? Or?
That's correct, yeah. This was commissioned independently to ourselves from a client in South Africa who actually runs an animal orphanage looking after lost and sick animals. And he wants us to produce a game that would not only kind of push this message out there, but also potentially create funds for them.
Oh, right, okay. So what can we experience from this game? Is there anything?
Okay, yeah, of course. I mean, imagine kind of Farmville, but with a lot more features thrown in there.
Yeah.
So when you place something like an animal down, you can then see whether he's hungry, or whether he's sad, or whether he needs to be played with. You can click on the animal, and then it will feed the animal, or do whatever the action is it needs to do. But you can also go into, it's quite a customizable game where you can go into different areas and attach specific objects to an animal. So if I go in here, I'll show you the animal here on the advanced mode. It will bring up his different options.
Yep.
And from here you can attach what different foods you want to the animal, or treats. So if you're specifically cruel, for example the kudu here, you might want to attach like a steak or some meat to him, and that will just make him unhappy, basically. Yeah, exactly.
Be mean, be not mean. So
absolutely, it's whatever you want to do.
Yeah. And that's available on Facebook?
That's available on Facebook from round about the first couple of weeks of December.
First couple of weeks of December. So check that out. It's great. It's better than Farmville, I must admit.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've tried it myself, so there you go. There's something for you to entertain yourselves over Christmas. So that's been the Future Gaming and Digital Conference 2011 here at the Birmingham Science Park in Aston. I'll be back next year for more gaming, gadgety, gizmo-ness that you might enjoy. But for now, I've got an important date with my Xbox. See ya.